How about the fear that things will never change? I bet some of you are dealing with that right now. You got a situation, man, my husband's never going to change. My kids are never going to change. I'm never going to own my own home. I guess I'll just never be happy. I'm never going to lose this weight. I'll tell you what, Satan is full of what I call the never lies. He wants to make you think that whatever problem you've got, you are going to have it forever. And I've learned when I have a problem to say this too will pass. Because one of the things that makes you feel overwhelmed and defeated is to think that you're going to have to put up with something forever. Well, I can't stand it if this pain lasts forever. How many problems have you had in your life in the past that you don't have now because God took care of it? So whatever problem you have now, you can relax because God is also working on that problem and He's going to take care of that. Afraid you'll never change. Your family members will never change. Your circumstances will never change. You're never going to have enough money. You're never going to get married. You're never going to have any peace. You're never going to enjoy your life. Well, let me tell you something. Everything is subject to change except God, and with God, all things are possible. So don't be afraid that things are not going to change for you. Be content and be satisfied where you're at, knowing that God is working in your life and He's working on great things for you. But how about the fear of change? Some people fear that things will never change, and then other people fear that they're going to change. Change comes, and, well, that's scary. But you know what? Anybody who won't change will get left in the dust. We've been in ministry for 45 years, and 35 of those years we've had the ministry that we have now, except it was very small when it started, and it seemed to me like it stayed small forever, but gradually it was growing. And we're still doing very well. God's blessing our ministry, and we're doing very well. But we have had to make changes all along the way. Our clothing styles, our music styles, how we set the platform when we do our conferences, our TV studio. We're always updating and upgrading. And you know what? When you think, oh, it's fine, it's been this way forever, we'll just leave it that way, you're already on your way out when you do that. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change. Some people just say, well, I don't like change. Well, we don't all get to like everything we do. We need to do what God wants us to do, knowing that it's the best thing for us. Our bodies change. In the beginning, everything is lifted. Our face is lifted. Our bodies don't sag. Our shoulders don't do this. They do this automatically. Now I have to make sure mine do that. And I don't know, it seems like some morning you get up and you look in the mirror and everything that used to be up here is now down there. People talk about having this lift or that lift. Well, some of us just feel like we could use a whole entire body lift. Just start at the bottom and lift everything. Pull everything up, tie it in a knot at my head and cut it off. Everything changes. Our children grow up and leave home. Our friends change. You can be so close to somebody for 10, 15 years, and now maybe they're not even in your life at all. Companies go out of business. Neighborhoods deteriorate. Dave and I drove down to the area where we both lived when we met some 50-odd years ago, and the neighborhood I lived in was still in fairly decent shape, but the house that Dave grew up in was all boarded up now, and it's just sad. You know, you go by and you say, boy, I remember when, I remember when, I remember when. But not everything stays the same. You have to be willing to accept change in your life. You know, God told Abraham to leave the place he was and go to the place that He would show him. Well, he was facing change. He didn't even know really how big of a change he was facing. Change was coming. He just didn't know what all it would involve. And you talk about taking a step of faith. Man, he took a step of faith. You know, God said to Joshua, and it's recorded in Joshua chapter 1, especially in the first 9 verses, it says, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, Moses is dead. Well, that's no big news. They'd been mourning Moses for 30 days already. He knew very well that he was dead. But there was a lot more behind that statement, because what God was really saying is Moses is dead, and now I'm calling you to take his place. So get ready for big change in your life.